The story of the Watts family is a tragic one that shook the nation in 2018. It began with the seemingly picture perfect family of four: 34-year-old Shanann Watts, her 34-year-old husband Chris Watts, and their two daughters, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste. Shanann was a successful saleswoman for the health and wellness company, LaFell, and Chris worked for Anadarko Petroleum Corporation as an operator. The family lived in a house in Frederick, a small town located north of Denver, Colorado. They were a happy and loving family who did, on occasions, have their normal ups and downs. On the 13th of August 2018, approximately at 1:48 a.m., Shanann returned home from a work trip to Arizona and was dropped off at a house by her best friend, Nicole Atkinson.
We did it again. I like that shirt. Really?
Really?
That's awesome.
She was 15 weeks pregnant at the time, expecting their third child. However, when Shannon's friend tried to contact her later that afternoon and couldn't reach her, naturally, she became worried and contacted the police. Soon after the police arrived, they too were unable to find anyone.
What's that?
Do you remember me?
Yeah.
Hey man, Ben.
How you been?
Hi.
You Nicole?
Yes.
Okay. So what's going on?
So my friend, we were out of town for a business trip this weekend,
All right.
and I dropped her off at 2 o'clock this morning. She's 15 weeks pregnant. She wasn't feeling well, and she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9, and I told her to let me know if she needed me to take her. She's got 2 little girls, and she was very distraught over the weekend, wasn't eating normally or drinking, and we kept trying to force it on her because she's pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband and her supposedly are separating, but she didn't know this. She thought they were just having issues. He disclosed that to me today.
Okay.
Because I called him and I was like, have you talked or heard from Shanann since she left for work this morning? Because I can't get a hold of her. I've called, I've texted. Her car's in the garage. Her shoes she wears every single day are by the front door.
She only has one vehicle?
No, they only have the one vehicle in his work truck.
Okay. That's what I'm asking.
She
There's
took
not
the
a...
girls and went on a play date, but they're 4 and 2. She went on a play date. Why wouldn't she take in a car? They're both in car seats. And she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9, and she didn't go to the doctor's appointment.
Okay. No answer on the phone. Husband's on his way.
Supposedly, but he said that 30 minutes ago when I called him again, and he said he was 45 minutes out still. And I know the code to the door.
You do?
I do, but there's a thing on it. There's a, no, it'll, even Chris knows you can do it. There's a, they have the thing flipped up here.
Oh. What about the garage door?
I don't
Is
know.
there...
At around 2 p.m., Chris reaches his home. He initially told the police that he had no idea where his family was and that he had last seen them when he left for work that morning. However, his behavior seemed odd to everyone and quickly raised suspicions, and soon became a person of interest in the case.
Scott, how you doing?
How's it going?
So this is the only vehicle she would have?
Only one that, yeah.
She would drive? Okay. Does she work?
Yeah, she works from home.
Oh, from home?
She works, this is her lifeline. So when that thing turns back on, it's going to start blowing up. Oh yeah, trust me.
It was shut down?
She's in the fly, yeah.
she was up with her and screaming all the time. When I ready right there? Okay.
It was on the nightstand next to her, so I was there.
This is the last time she was awake.
Picked up the hair.
Over the next few days, the investigation into the disappearance of the Watts family intensified. Chris appeared on national television, pleading for his family's safe return and claiming, again, that he had no idea where they were. Meanwhile, police searched the family's home and interviewed neighbors and friends, trying to piece together what exactly had happened. Speaking of neighbors, during the search, one of Chris's neighbor informed the police he had a surveillance camera that pointed at the Watts driveway. Unfortunately, there still was no sign of Shannan or the kids in the footage. But there was something interesting. Chris was the only person caught on camera. He was seen parking his truck in the driveway and seemed to be loading something into the back of his truck. It took almost 26 minutes for him to load whatever it was in the back of his truck.
Book bag, looks like a computer, and usually a water jug, that's it. But the fact that he was in here and explaining to it over and over and over,
Well, odd.
he doesn't look worried. He looks like he's trying to cover his tracks.
On August 15th, 2018, 2 days after the family went missing, he was called in by the police to do a polygraph test, which he failed. Soon after that, Chris confessed to killing his wife but denied killing their daughters. He initially claimed that he had asked for a separation from Shannan, and in response, she ended up strangling the girls in a fit of rage, and then later, he ended up strangling her as well. According to Chris's confession, he and Shannan had been having marital problems. Chris Watts was having an affair with a co-worker named Nicole Kassinger. Chris and Nicole began their affair in early July 2018, about 6 weeks before Shannan, Bella, and Celeste were reported missing. When Shannan confronted him about the affair, he strangled her to death in their bedroom. He then drove her body to a work site owned by Anadarko Petroleum Corporation, where he buried her in a shallow grave. It was later when Chris also admitted to killing his 2 daughters by smothering them with a blanket and placing their bodies in oil tanks at his worksite. He said that Bella had seen him kill her mother and had asked him what was wrong with her. Celeste was too young to understand what was happening. Their bodies were finally found on the 16th of August 2018. On the 21st of August 2018, Chris was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and ultimately sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, after pleading guilty to all charges against him. The Watts family tragedy shocked the nation and has been the subject of intense media coverage and public scrutiny. Nicole Kassinger came forward to the police after Chris's wife and children was reported missing in August 2018, and then also cooperated with the investigations. She later stated in an interview with the Denver Post that she had no idea that Chris was still married when they began their relationship, and that she ended things with him after learning the truth. It remains a tragic reminder of the devastating consequences of domestic violence and the importance of seeking help and support in times of crisis. Shanann, Bella, and Celeste will never be forgotten, and their memory continues to inspire people to speak out against violence and seek justice for victims of all forms of abuse. There also have been plenty of movies and documentaries about this tragic incident. And I would highly recommend the 2020 documentary on Netflix, American Murder, The Family Next Door, which talks in detail about this horrific case. Well, folks, that was the end of the case file. Hope you did find the video interesting. If you've made it this far, I would genuinely appreciate it if you would give this video a like, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, as it would really help me. Until next time, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and please be safe. Peace.